everybody. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for this week's edition of HeatPressNation's Facebook Live. This week we're very excited to be talking to you guys about the Silhouette Cameo. Now before we get into it, just a little bit of background about myself. My name is Jared. I work here in the technical support department, and I also help manage our social media. So if you've called in, you've had some questions about your Cameo, how to work it, chances are you probably talked to me. But before we get started, I do want to let you know that we are running a contest like we do every week, and the way to enter is through liking and sharing this video. So go ahead and do that now if you guys want to. Like and share the video. You're going to be entered in our contest for this week, which we'll be announcing the prize a little bit later on in the broadcast. Also, if you have entered in last week's broadcast by liking and sharing our previous post, you're entered, and we're going to be announcing those winners at the end of today's show. So this week's winners will be announced next week, this week's contest winners will be announced next week, and then the winners from last week's contest are going to be announced in just a little bit, so make sure you stay tuned. Also, we're going to do our very best to get to as many questions as we can on the air. So if you have any questions about anything that we're talking about today, or just questions in general about the Silhouette Cameo, make sure that you comment those, and then I'll be answering them live on the air. I have my trusty iPad here with all the questions coming in so I can see your guys' comments, and then I'll be answering as many as I can on stage. Those that we're not able to get to on the air, I'm going to be in the comments immediately after the broadcast, answering any questions you guys may have at all. So feel free to let loose in there. Go crazy in the comments. Ask any questions you guys might have. Give us a shout out. You know, we want to have a great time today. Also, we have our good friend Anderson, like always, helping us out with the comments section. So he's going to be moderating the comments. If you have any questions or you need a link, go ahead and type that in the comments. Anderson's going to be providing links and other helpful information in our comments section. Now, we also want to mention that we have a Facebook group, HeatPressNation Creators. This group is moderated by the professionals like myself, like the other great members of our team here, and what it's great for is getting information. So not only do we have the professionals moderating, but the group itself is made up of people from all skill levels. So you have entry level, people who've been in for a little while, and you also have your industry veterans. So any question you guys have at all in regards to heat pressing, using your Cameo, using your other equipment that you guys might have, feel free to put it in there, and I'm sure somebody, a lot of people in most cases, will be happy to chime in and give you from their personal experience, what the best solution is going to be. Okay, so we've gotten all that out of the way. Let's go ahead and dig right in. And I see here we do have some questions already coming in. So Ashley Hedges, Chris Moore, Anna Fontenot. Hey guys, just want to say what's up to you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to be checking through the comments periodically, so any questions that come in, like I said, going to do my best to answer them on the air. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and get started. So today, as I mentioned, we're talking about the Silhouette Cameo. This is a little workhorse of a machine. It's an amazing entry-level machine for cutting vinyl, making custom graphics. Now, we're going to be talking about the heat press application for this machine. Now, this Cameo is extremely capable of cutting a lot of other materials that may not necessarily have a heat press application, but it's in our name, HeatPressNation, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're the pros on that. We're going to be sharing, but if you have other questions, we do have a partner that we'd like to give a shout out to, Terry Johnson of Terry Johnson Creates. In fact, you can go to terryjohnsоncreates.com. Terry Johnson has a great, just myriad of resources on her site. She has a blog, she has videos, she has a group on Facebook called All Things Silhouette. Really great stuff, and she also runs the All Things Silhouette Conference. Now, some of you guys, some of my conference people might be out there. We're there twice a year in June and November. The next conference is coming up in November. Last I heard, it's filling up. Spots are filling up very fast. There's only a few spots left in that conference, so Anderson's actually going to post the link right now in the comments. Make sure you check it out. But anyways, All Things Silhouette Conference, really great if you want to expand your knowledge on your machine, on customizing garments, and customizing, and I'm not exaggerating when I say this, hundreds of other products. Really great stuff. So make sure you check out our partner, Terry Johnson Creates, if you want to see how to do other stuff. But today, this broadcast is focusing on heat pressing. So to get started, here's a Silhouette Cameo. This is the Cameo 3. It's the latest edition of the Silhouette. And it's going to come with a cutting mat. It's going to come with a couple tools. Of course, it has an automatically adjusting blade, so no more days of twisting your blade and getting it to the right setting. So it's really great. The first thing we're going to talk about really quick though is that we want to, I get the question all the time, do I put my vinyl on the cutting mat, or do I put it, can I feed it in directly? And in truth, you can feed it in directly. Like I said, it's a super capable machine. So you could feed the vinyl in directly. Me personally, I like to use the cutting mat with my Cameo. It's super easy. It gives you really consistent results. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of rolling and sliding the roller over and making sure it's aligned straight. Honestly, the cutting mat's the way to go. But if you do want to feed your vinyl directly, like you have a long piece of material to cut that's not going to fit on the cutting mat, go ahead, feel free to load it in. It has a 12-inch cutting area right here, but it can accommodate a 15-inch roll. Keep in mind that you're going to lose about 1.5 inches on either side of the vinyl, so not sure how if that's something that you're interested in, but if all you have is a 15-inch roll, you want to load it in direct, feel free to do so. Now here at HeatPressNation, we do sell 10-inch wide rolls of vinyl. It's available in all of our standard Easy Weed colors and our Caesar glitter. So if you're interested in a 10-inch roll that you want to feed in here, you're more than welcome to check out our site, HeatPressNation.com, and I'm sure Anderson is going to be posting something, in the comments as far as a link to those products. So very cool stuff. But to answer the question, yes, you could feed it in direct. I personally happen to like using the cutting mat at all times. So that's really great. Now you see we have a couple cutting mats. This is a light hold cutting mat, which is used for heat transfer paper, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And then under here is a pick scan mat, which we'll hide that for a second. We're going to be coming right back to that. So we're going to kind of go down the line. If you're new to heat pressing, if you've never heat pressed anything before, maybe you have a Cameo and you don't know what to do with it. You're interested in a heat press and you want to know, well, what can I really make with that? We're going to kind of go down the line and show you some objects here, some samples here really quick. So I'm going to move this out of the way for a second. The first one up, we have a really cool ladies shirt here. This is our Everything Glitter shirt. So now, once you start doing customized t-shirts and stuff, it's going to be really hard to stop. And so this was inspired by some of our customers here who I had a customer say, everything's glitter now, because it's really simple. Your Silhouette Cameo, you cut out the glitter from the sheet like how we have here. You're going to cut out the glitter and then you heat press it onto your shirt. And now you have a customized glitter design. This is Caesar glitter, which is really great because with most glitter decals, if you rub it, you're going to get glitter that rubs off. And, you wear a glitter shirt, you put it in the washer, now everything has glitter all over it. This Caesar glitter is really resilient, so you're not going to get your glitter everywhere. Really cool stuff. Now, for those of you guys who are experienced with glitter, I've gotten the question a lot, where it's like, hey, do I have to use a deep cut blade in order to cut my glitter? Now, you can use your deep cut blade to cut your glitter, but your standard blade will do just fine. Now, as your standard size blade begins to wear out over time, which is general use, you may notice that you'll have to increase, kind of compensate for the wear by increasing either the blade exposure, the blade number on your blade, or the thickness setting in Silhouette Studio. One way, and also you'll notice that glitter does wear out your blade a lot faster than standard vinyl because, it has the glitter kind of abrades the blade. So what you can do is you can purchase a deep cut blade. And what I absolutely love about the Silhouette Cameo 3 is that it has two stations here. So the red one, we put our standard blade in there, our automatic adjusting blade. And in the blue station, station 2, we put our deep cut blade. So that way, if you're constantly going back and forth between your vinyls, your standard and your glitters, you don't have to switch out your blade all the time. You can just put it in there. You can load up both of them in there, and then just go back and forth, with your blade. So that's a really cool feature, and very helpful if you're switching between vinyl and a lot of other stuff. So we're gonna move that one out of the way. Another thing that we like here is, and we're gonna save this one for a little bit later, but okay, so let me before we get into, let's see here, we got some cool shout outs. Art Nieves says vinyl is perfect. Cool, yeah, thank you so much. Hell yeah, that's what I get. Me too, I love this stuff. Christina says, I love glitter. Yeah, us too. We love glitter here. You should see our showroom. We have tons of glitter stuff that we're doing. I think almost every HeatPressNation live that we do, we somehow manage to work glitter in there. It's just a really, really cool product. Now, with your thick cut blade, since we're on that topic, check out this hat. Now, it might be hard to see on camera, But this hat, we used a product called Caesar Strip Flock. So now Caesar Strip Flock is a really cool, kind of exclusive material. And I say exclusive because there's not really anything like it. If you touch it, you could feel that it's definitely a raised surface, but it also has a satin feel. So if you want something that's going to help your products kind of stand apart and just be different, Caesar Strip Flock is something you're really going to want to look into. And I love it because, what would be, of course we could do this hat with standard easy weed vinyl and it'll look great. But if you kind of want to take your designs to that next level, give it a little bit of extra dimension, use a different material, try something else. And in this case, we use a Caesar Strip Flock. So it's like having like a velvety satin logo on your hat. So of course HPN coffee roasters, we do tons of coffee here. It helps us get through especially in the mornings, helps us get right onto that morning slump there. So yeah, HPN coffee roasters, of course, really cool graphic that we made. And a really cool hat now. So now this hat, before maybe you're selling your hat for like $12, $15 range, add an extra an extra pop, add some more pizzazz to it, get some 3D effects going on with the Caesar Strip Flock, and then the price of your product can go up and be more profitable for you, which is really cool. Now, this wood, you would definitely want to cut that with your deep cut blade. If you maxed out your blade, maxed out your thickness, and did a double cut, you could probably cut this out with your standard blade, but you're going to notice it'll be a lot easier to weed out and a lot easier to just use in general if you have the Caesar deep cut blade. Deep cut blade is also great for this product right here. Now this is Caesar Brick. Now again, I'm not sure if you could see on camera, but Caesar Brick is a really thick vinyl. Your standard vinyl is going to be somewhere, I want to say around 50 microns. I'm not 100% sure on that. Definitely under 75. Caesar Brick is closer to like 600 microns, in that it's just a really thick material, and it gets you like that nice 3D effect, which is totally different than you can get on standard vinyl. So I'm going to pause for a second. Looks like we have some questions here. Mike Fernholz says, is that the new pink Cameo that just came out, or is that a cover? Oh, so this is a slip cover for the Cameo. And yeah, so you can see we have a standard Cameo underneath, it's Cameo 3. This is a slip cover that you could purchase. It keeps dust off of your Cameo if you have to store it, put it away, or if you just want it to look really cool. Another thing is that this gives you a whole surface to heat press something on. So if you want to make your Cameo really stand out and be cool, of course you can heat press some cool vinyl on there and have a cool cover. Let me see if we have any more questions. Oh, actually, before I move to other questions, the pink Cameo will be available in October. So if you're interested in getting the pink silhouette Cameo, proceeds of every sale goes to support breast cancer research, awareness, and hopefully a cure one day. I know, just on a side note, we mentioned Terry Johnson Creates of All Things Silhouette Conference. She's a trooper. We're really proud to support her. That conference actually teamed up with Silhouette. They got the first exclusive look back in June, and so we're really excited. Who knows what surprise we're going to see at the conference this November. So hopefully we'll see you guys there. And of course, Terry, best of luck. We hear she's recovering really well, so that's awesome. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look here. We got some more questions. Are there pressure settings on the Cameo so that you don't have to change out the blades? Yes, there are. So the Cameo, it comes with its own software. It's called Silhouette Studio, which to me is probably one of the most valuable aspects to the Silhouette Cameo. I probably should have even talked about this before. But Silhouette Cameo comes with Silhouette Studio. So in Silhouette Studio, you're able to make designs, you're able to import images and trace them. And just a little bit about tracing. Any cutter you get, any cutter, it can only cut vector images. You're not able to cut directly a JPEG that maybe you download off the internet or that you make in Photoshop. You can't cut JPEG, so what you have to do is you have to trace the image and then render it as a vector file or a file that can be cut. So the Silhouette Studio, it's really cool because it comes with a tracing tool. So that way, if you have something that maybe you've already created, but you don't have it in a vector format, maybe you made it in Photoshop instead of Illustrator, you can trace it in Silhouette Studio and then have it able to cut. So that's really cool. And then when you send things to cut in Silhouette Studio, it comes with a huge list of presets. So materials that you're probably already working with, it has presets there, so you don't have to worry about adjusting your blade. The blade here, it's a self-adjusting blade. So in Silhouette Studio, You go, you set, hey, I need my blade to be at setting number 3, which is how far out the blade is exposed. You just click it, and then before it starts to cutting, the blade will adjust itself, so that way you don't have to worry about anything. You don't have to pull the blade out. You just set it, and it's ready to go. And then you can also set your pressure, which is like the downforce setting. In Silhouette Studio, it's called thickness. So if your blade's at a 3 and you need to put maximum pressure at that blade distance, you're going to adjust your thickness. And I believe thickness is adjustable from 0 to 33 on a relative scale. So that's really great. So if you don't want it sticking out too far, but you need a lot of pressure, just increase the thickness. And then you can also adjust the speed of the blade. For more intricate designs, you're going to want to slow it down. For more basic designs, you could, of course, afford to speed it up. So we're going to get to a couple more questions right now. But yeah, so we just wanted to talk about the items that you'd cut with a thick cut blade. I'm going to move this out of the way. Now, contour cutting. In the Silhouette Studio program, it's called the print and cut feature, which is really cool. Now you're wondering, what is the print and cut feature and why would I need that? Well, check out this shirt here. This shirt, you can see we have a full color design. If you have experience with heat transfer vinyl, you'll know that one of the things is that you can do multiple colors with heat transfer vinyl, but you have to layer the vinyl over each other. So a full color design like this might not be something that you're able to do with vinyl. Actually, this one you probably could. But let's say you want to do a photograph or something with multiple colors, like more than 3, like 10 colors, you would use heat transfer paper. The most common is going to be inkjet, and that's just because a lot of us who have printers at home, a home or office printer, most of those are going to be inkjet, like Canons, HP, Epson, etc. So yeah, so what we did was we printed this graphic on our inkjet heat transfer paper. Now, when you're using inkjet heat transfer paper, the whole page is coated with a film that's going to allow you to get your ink that you printed and transfer it onto your shirt. So that's really great because, of course, you're able to get full color images, photographs onto your shirt. The downside is the border, since the whole page is coated in that film, the border will also transfer onto your shirt, so you're left with a big square, which is good, I guess, if your image takes up the full space. But in our case, of course, our image did not take up a full square. We have kind of like a graphic cutout. So what we're able to do is use the print and cut feature of our Silhouette Cameo. Now, it's also known as contour cutting. Contour cutting, if you get it on one of the more expensive machines, and I don't mean to sound like an infomercial, but just for your information, contour cutting on more expensive machines, it's going to run you a lot of money. We're talking about at least double the cost of the Silhouette Cameo. So to me, that's a really big plus for the machine, and it gets us this cool design. So what we do here is we print out this design using contour marks, or some people call them jog marks, some people call them registration marks. I think registration marks are going to be the most common term that you might know them by. So you print it, and it prints these marks. The cutter then reads those marks and cuts out wherever you have it set in relation. So that way, this design, you can cut it by hand if you want to, but if you want to be ultra precise, cut it by the machine, and that way we don't transfer the border. We did this on a white shirt, so you may or may not notice, if we had printed it with a full border, you may or may not notice on a white shirt because the film is transparent. Now, if you're using a dark shirt with dark inkjet transfer paper, the background, instead of being a transparent film, it's actually going to be a solid white. So if we had done this without trimming it on a dark shirt, it would have pressed an entire square around our design, which is not really the most desirable look that you're going to want for your graphics. So that's really cool. Now, that kind of leads me to this right here, the PicScan mat. So what the PicScan mat does is, and now you will need to download an app, or you can take pictures with your phone, but basically, if you have something that you've already printed and you want it to be cut out of the paper, you load it onto the PicScan mat, you take a picture. There's a couple more steps, but in a nutshell, you're able to load it up onto this mat that has these special markings on it, and then the cutter can then read those and then cut out something that you may have already printed. Even if you've already purchased something that is not cut out of the background and you want to cut it out of the background, you can totally do it with the PicScan mat. Look for a tutorial coming very soon on that. The other cutting mat we have here that's not standard is the light hold cutting mat. Really quick, I know a lot of you guys are getting excited. You want to cut inkjet transfer paper, make sure you use the cutting mat. I strongly suggest getting the light hold cutting mat, just because your standard issue cutting mat, it's going to be really sticky, and it may give you problems when you're when you're peeling off your transfer from there. I'm going to pause for a quick second. If you're just joining us, we are running a contest today, and the way to enter is very simple. You like and you share this video. If you liked and shared last week's video, we're going to be announcing the winner of our HeatPress mug press. Very soon, at the end of the broadcast, we'll be announcing the winner for that. And this week, we're going to give away every accessory that you see here on this table for the Silhouette Cameo. We're going to be giving away a full accessory set to one lucky winner, which we're going to be announcing next week. So if you want to be entered in the Silhouette accessory pack giveaway, make sure you like and share this video. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause for a second. We're going to check and see we have any questions here. There we go. My wife was telling me about that brick vinyl. You got to get on it. You got to get it. We actually sell brick by the sheet, so if you don't want to invest in a huge roll of a color that you may or may not use, buy it by the sheet. It's really cool stuff. Make sure you also have a deep cut blade to go with it, because otherwise you're going to have a real problem. I work in tech support, so we get some calls and like, hey, this Cameo is not cutting my, it's not cutting my brick, or it's not cutting my strip flock. So we'll go over the settings. Of course, we want to troubleshoot it respectfully. But then, the first question I always ask is like, hey, what blade are you using? Oh, the standard blade. Oh, well, that kind of answers the question. You are going to want to use the deep cut blade in order to get to that brick properly. Let's see, do we have any other questions? Some transfers leave a nasty square border. Exactly. I'm telling you guys, print and cut is life-changing. It's really awesome, and then you can get really, really great designs. So the last demo product that we have here is this, and I don't know if you can tell here, it's a zip hoodie, right? It's a zip hoodie. Now, hoodies, especially with a zipper here, are notoriously difficult to heat press because you have this big zipper running along the middle. And the way we get around that is we have a pressing pillow that we insert inside. Now, this pressing pillow is really squishy for a reason. Whenever you're pressing with a zipper, or a collar, or a seam, or a button, or a pocket, that raised area, like you see how this zipper is a little bit higher and more raised than the area next to it. That causes an uneven pressing surface. So because that area is raised, it's going to be very difficult to get even pressure on top of that. Now we do have this product here, the pressing pillow. We have our tutorials here on YouTube, and as a side note, our YouTube is chock full of tutorials that show you how to cover pretty much everything that we sell almost. We're working on it. We're trying to build we're building constantly, as we get new products, as we get new things in, we want to build, we're constantly building our library. So if there's a tutorial that you're looking for that you just can't seem to find, put it in the comments. We're recording, like I said, weekly adding new videos. So put in the comments below if you want to know how we got this design, for example. This design, I kind of like it. It's pretty cool because I made it. We Are the Champions design. Check that out right there. I like it a lot because, we have the text, and then we cut out of the text, we punched out, we're able to put in black vinyl this basketball player. It gives an extra pop to your designs. Of course, we could have just put We Are the Champions. You're going to want to use your own team colors, maybe by, if your team colors are like black and silver, buy a black hoodie, put it in silver, and then you can have your basketball player add a pop in glitter or electric or in brick, something cool. You want to give it that pop, Feel free to be as creative as you want with your designs. So if you want a tutorial, you want to see how we were able to insert this basketball player and cut out the text around it, go ahead and put that into the comments on our YouTube page. If there's something that you'd want to see, feel free to add in the comments. Like I said, we're adding new videos all the time to our library, and we want to know what you guys want to learn. We're happy to share. So what we did was we punched it out in Silhouette, and as for the pillow, so going back to the pillow, having the zipper creates an uneven pressing surface, which is really bad. If we didn't use a pressing pillow, then the vinyl right next to here, all along this area, right next to the zipper, would not have transferred properly. Some of you guys may have experienced this with peeling. You press too close to the collar. If your collar is also on the lower plate of your heat press, it might cause an uneven pressing surface, which could cause it to peel. It makes perfect sense that it would peel if you're not using a pressing pad or a pressing pillow. If I can ask my buddy Anderson's actually going to put links to those products here on the site if you guys want to check them out. you're more than welcome to. If you want a tutorial on how to use the pads and the pillows, feel free to comment that. We're happy to share that information. So yeah, so we put the pillow inside of the hoodie, and we laid the vinyl down. Of course, we laid it, since we're layering, we laid the white vinyl down first and the black vinyl down. So we laid the white vinyl down first, pressed it. The pillow allows the seam and the zipper to sink in, allowed us to press just the vinyl that we wanted. And then of course we peeled it, pressed the second layer, which would be the black vinyl, and then we're able to get this really cool design that it stands out, it's different, and that's what you want for your designs, especially if you're selling your designs yourself or if you're doing them custom for clients of yours. Feel free to offer them that. Say, hey, do you want to use multiple colors? Do you want to maybe, I can add this, I can add that. Be as creative as you want to be. Really, it's up to you how cool your designs come out. We can give you guys all the tutorials in the world, but it's your creativity that's really going to unlock your full potential and help you be as profitable as possible. Or if you're doing it just as a hobby, your stuff's going to stand out and you're going to be the coolest cat in town when you have, custom hoodies and shirts all the time, especially around Christmas and not the holidays are coming up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to put this away here. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to take a pause here. We're going to check for questions. Again, like and share this video if you want to be entered into our weekly contest this week. We're giving away a full Cameo accessory pack. We're giving away a full Cameo accessory pack. All the accessories you see here on the table does not include the machine, so hopefully our winner already has one, already has a Silhouette Cameo. Yeah, we're going to be giving that away. Be sure to like and share. Also, in just a couple of minutes, we're going to be announcing the winner of our M-Press mug press, a sublimation mug press that we're going to be giving away, which was, of course, everybody who liked and shared last week's competition. Okay, so I'm going to take a pause here. Let's go ahead and check it out. Let me see. What about printing cutout vinyl onto press on mugs or other accessories? What do I recommend? You know what? For mugs, we recommend actually sublimation. The reason why I'm going to say that is because sublimation is permanent. You're literally dyeing the surface of the mug with whatever you're transferring, and you can do full color. You can do photographs. Literally, the sky's the limit as to what you can put on that mug. We recommend sublimation. I highly suggest check out our YouTube, on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/HeatPressNation. Last week's Facebook Live was on sublimation. So we do have that there for you if you want to check it out. We have actually tons of videos on sublimation, especially sublimating mugs. So my recommendation is to sublimate mugs. We have had people who let us know, they brought in some samples and we've seen them of, cutting out glitter. For example, they'll cut out like glitter heat transfer vinyl or standard heat transfer vinyl, and then with a heat press it onto a mug. Now, it's not permanent and it's not dishwasher safe. So you're going to want to be very careful. It is kind of more like a delicate transfer. We have had some good results and we have had some bad results, if we're being totally honest. So if you're going to do that, if you're going to go that route, you can use your regular heat transfer vinyl. You're just going to want to test it first before offering it to clients. And of course, you're going to want to disclose fully to the clients that they're not going to be able to dishwash it. It is going to be a hand wash only item. So that's what we recommend here. Pillows are great. Always can make your own too. That's very true if you're willing to go out and put in the footwork of going out buying the foam, the heat resistant foam, and of course the non-stick sheets, sewing that together. If you need a custom size, you're very welcome to do that. So anyways, that's our broadcast for today, guys. We're so thankful that you guys joined us here this week. Again, if you have any other questions, or even if you're watching this after the fact where it's not live, feel free to ask your questions in the comments, and then we'll be happy to get to them. We're actively checking all the comments on our videos, whether it be on Facebook or on YouTube. Please feel free to give us a call at 800-215-0894. We're very happy to answer any questions. We have a very experienced sales team, quite familiar with all this, all the products, questions about Silhouette. If you have more advanced questions, of course, myself or another member of the technical support team, happy to help you guys out there. So again, 800-215-0894. You can also check us out on our website, HeatPressNation.com. And then we do have our Facebook group, HeatPressNation Creators. As we mentioned in the beginning, HeatPressNation Creators is moderated by the professionals like myself, like other members of our team. But then you have people with all skill levels, from beginners, intermediates, industry veterans, all pitching in to help answer questions and help you get along heat pressing like a pro. So be sure to check that out. And we'd love to see what you guys are working on. If you guys have some brick projects or some vinyl projects that you've been doing, you want us to take a look, you know, we love reposting on our social media, all the cool stuff that we see. So be sure to tag us, hashtag HPN Creators. That's the tag we're using, and we'd love to see what you guys are working on. So before we get going, of course, we have one more thing that we want to do. So if I can have my crew here hand me the hats. We have another hat, not this one. Wouldn't that be cool if I had like magic? I just pull the names out of this one. No, we have another hat that we're going to be using. Thank you so much. And this has all the names in it. So again, these are going to be all the names for the, and he's going to have the winner. We're going to draw the winner of our HeatPress Sublimation Mug Press. Oh, we don't want them to be left out of the competition, whoever that was. All right, so we're going to go on just the first draw. So if you're wanting that mug press, start saying your prayers because we're drawing, and the winner is Rachel Irwin Lips. Rachel Irwin Lips, thank you so much for liking and sharing last week's video. You're the winner of our HeatPress mug press, so we're going to be getting in touch with you on Facebook. Be sure to check your messages for shipping information and how we can get that to you right away. For the rest of you guys, thank you so much for liking and sharing our video. We do appreciate it. Like and share this video to be entered into this week's contest, which again is going to be the silhouette sample, silhouette accessories sample pack. All the accessories that you see here on the table, of course, with the exception of the machine, not going to be a machine yet. Hopefully soon. Make sure you keep tuning in to our Facebook Lives. We're giving away stuff every week. We're sharing helpful information every week, so stay tuned. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much for joining.